Man, so I'm overcome with emotion right now because I just wrapped up my final interview and it went really well. What's going on, YouTube? My name is Joshua Dantes and welcome to my channel, Technically Speaking. We're going to get right into it today. I'm sure you noticed the first part of my video, which was a video I did a few weeks ago after I had a final interview, hoping or just looking to break into tech sales. Looking to break into tech. And the question is, did I get an offer? Did I make it happen? And the answer is yes, I did. It happened. I broke into tech. I officially signed my offer on October 17th, and I started in my role as a business development representative on October 30th. So yesterday, which was Thursday, I wrapped up my second week as a business development representative for an amazing organization. And when I tell you these past 2 weeks have been some of the best in my life, this entire process it's been a journey, but these past 2 weeks have been some of the best in my life. You know, when I signed that offer, it's hard to sum up those feelings. But if I were to give you a few words, it would definitely say a blessing. You know, I'm blessed. It was humbling. It was reassuring, you know, to me. And it was also invigorating. I know one of the questions is, well, how did you make this happen? You know, how did you go from no experience in tech to landing a job in tech? And it's a great question. You know, let me take you back a little bit to the final interview. For me, during my final interview, I had a feeling that it went well. And the reason why I had that feeling is because I overly prepared throughout each stage of my interview process. I took notes, not just on what was mentioned to me about the role, but what was also mentioned to me about the individual that was interviewing me, about the organization. And How to Win Friends and Influence People taught me that people love talking about themselves. People love hearing about what they've accomplished. So during my interview process and during your interview process, the moments where they tell you about themselves, the moments where they tell you about what they've accomplished, you want to make sure that you take note of that, okay? And you want to make sure that you take note of that so you can revisit that at some point in time during that interview process, just to demonstrate that you've been listening, which is important, especially if you're wanting to be in tech sales or just sales in general. The other thing that I did during my interview process is I asked a lot of questions, you know, whether it was questions about the organization, whether it was questions about the role, or just questions about the individuals. I always remained curious. And this not only gave me information about or information that I was seeking just in general, but it also showed the organization. It showed the individual that I was genuinely interested in the individual or in the organization. I was genuinely interested in the role. Okay. And the way that this worked out for me is most of the time, I was the individual that was doing most of the listening, and my interviewer was doing most of the talking. And this only happened because I asked a number of questions. And these weren't just random questions. I thought out these questions before my interview process. So these were really good questions that required an answer to be elaborated upon or just to be thought about before it was answered. So now in tech, there are a number of different roles. Okay. But for me, I interviewed for, of course, the role that I'm currently in, a business development representative. Okay. It's also known as a sales development representative, pretty much the same thing. And in tech sales, if you're looking to break into tech sales, this is where you start off at. If you're coming in with no experience, this is the role that you will begin your career in. Okay, this role can range anywhere from 50K upwards to about 70K, and that's on target earnings, and that includes a base pay and commission. And I'll go deeper into that later on another video, but just know that as an SDR, as a BDR, your role is to hunt. You will pretty much be prospecting during doing your homework to identify the correct ideal customer profile, right? The correct buyer personas within those profiles. And then your job is to make contact. So when you get these individuals on the phone, You want to listen 80% of the time while they do a majority of the talking. So just think about this. I was literally practicing my role during the interview process. And I'll touch on that later on and how that even happened. So you definitely want to stick around. You don't want to miss that. The third thing that I did during my interview process is after each conversation, I made adjustments, okay? Meaning I watched the game tape. I went back and I got better. It is very important during your interview process that you identify what you did well and what you could have done better after each interview. So imagine showing up to an interview as one version of yourself, then showing up to the next as a different version, as a better version of you, okay? That is exactly how you stack the deck in your favor. Organizations pay attention to a number of different things during this process, and how you show up is one of the things that they pay attention to. Give me 1 second. I gotta drink some water before my lips get stuck together. Okay, I'm back. So organizations can easily sniff out if you're just saying something to be saying it, or if you really know what it is you're talking about. And as mentioned previously, most of these roles in tech start off at minimum at 50K with a number of other perks and benefits, okay? And it can be life-changing for a number of different reasons, right? Not just for the money, but also for the skill set and how the skill set develops you as a person and as an individual. So you have to take into consideration, because of this, it is important for you to take each phase seriously and do the absolute best that you can to land the role, but to also succeed in the role once you get it. How did I do this, right? What was the source? What was the tool that took me from no experience in tech to landing a role as a business development representative? And for me, it comes down to 2 words. It comes down to Course Careers, okay? When I say Course Careers, it literally took me from not knowing a thing about tech to landing a life-changing career. That's exactly what happened. And in regards to, what I wanted to touch on earlier, just think about this. My entire interview process was set up to do exactly what I'm currently doing in my role now. Let me rewind that. My entire interview process was set up to do exactly what I'm currently doing in my role now, okay? And, that only happened because of Course Careers. And if you ask me, or when I'm asked, how do I think I'm going to do in this role? My response is, I'm going to absolutely crush it, okay? I am going to absolutely crush it. The reason why I say that is my preparation was in this process, and this process brought out of me an ability to never stop preparing, okay? And all of that happened because of Course Careers and because I took this serious. So if you're someone that's looking to start a tech career, whether it be in digital marketing, UX, IX design, software development, tech sales, and so much more, I recommend you clicking on the link below and at least making an attempt at Course Careers free course, just to see if it's for you, and then going from there. That's exactly what I did. I was just like you months ago, weeks ago. I was just like you, online, seeking information about how to break into tech, looking into testimonials, okay? I was looking into testimonials, and then I became a testimonial, okay? And that's exactly how the process works, but only if you take it serious. So if you're someone that's looking to jump into tech, you're gonna take the process serious, click the link below, get started with the free course, test it out, see if it's for you, and then just go from there. All right, so as always, I appreciate you for tuning in today. Like and subscribe. And before I leave, look, my goal is to crush it in my role. So there may be times where you don't get a video from me for a few weeks, but just know that I'm locked in, I'm studying my game tape, And I'm looking at things and I'm learning things to show me how I can be the absolute best at what it is I'm doing. So like, subscribe, send this video to someone that you feel it could be helpful for. And until next time, good people, peace.